What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Brickhead. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is 3antozz. This is the best of 5 for the fourth place match for the Challengers League. Yes, the nitty gritty. This is, this is the kind of consolation prize sort of match to some degree. Both these players made it to the semifinals, and they play this one to figure out who the third best player in this group has been. And also, they're also fighting for the technical, easier relegation round, where Brickhead would have to fight the second or the top finishing relegations player, like the third worst. I hate saying that because they're not bad by any stretch, but how many players? 15th placed champions player, the 16th placed champions player would be playing against that's not right. The 16th place champions player will play the winner of this game. The 17th place champions player will play the winner of this game. Wait, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I give up. The loser of this game will play the 16th. You get it. Basically, you get it. I don't get it, and that's fine. But let's talk about the matchup, because we are seeing a Hades versus Odin matchup here on this map. And this map is Tropical Mirage. We have seen this one quite a bit. It can be a really, really strong two-town center gameplay map for the Hades, but that doesn't mean that it's a good option against Odin. So we'll see exactly what 3antozz's plan is going to be here. It can be a really, really difficult matchup for Hades, and it can also be a really, really difficult matchup for Odin, which is kind of why this one has been... I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see more of this matchup, in all honesty, in this tournament. And I think when we see the finals of the Champions League, which is just about to come up, I kind of have a gut feeling we might see Loki versus Hades, but more likely. But I've got this gut feeling that the finalist might pull out an Odin at some point in that series, just because of how strong Odin can be, and with some very specific Norse concepts, Norse late game concepts, Hades ends up finding themselves in a bit of a difficult position against Norse in the late game. Obviously, Hades has still got the best late game, but the fact of the matter is that Norse can hit their late game earlier than the Hades can, which does mean that, well, late game is good. It's good if you get there first, you win. Not only that, you can also have, if you think about how deathmatch works, there is a balance patch for deathmatch, but it does seem like the Norse players have got a lot of tricks that they can use that make it very tough to deal with if you are a Greek player. So it's not all bad. It's not like, wow, Hades has got the best late game. It's like, well, Hades has got the best units for the late game. So what? Norse has got this advantage over here in infantry being able to build and spam walls and move around the map. Egyptian has got the mercenary, they've got the rocks, they've got the stronger walls and the towers and all that stuff. Atlantean has got the sky passage, as we do see an immediate forest fire there. Atlantean has got the sky passage, it's got the time shift, it's got the Gaia Lush. Everyone has got their own kind of unique late game flavor that they can use, as we do see one longhouse coming up. Athena just about to come through here for 3antozz. 3antozz got a lot of villagers on the gold. It kind of looks like 3antozz is rushing for a fast second town center, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. He's got himself just the 2 favor gathered from the temple. And we'll see how it's all going to go as the villagers now moving up here onto these zebra. And, Brickhead here, he's got to kind of decide, as we do see a second longhouse, exactly what sort of an early game he wants to go for. As we see the Chiron coming out, we see the Ajax is already out, the Minotaur moving up to the top position here. There is a relic down the bottom of blue. The blue crystal shard is there for the Ajax to pick up if he so chooses, which decent relic in all honesty. It's now 3antozz. He's got himself the gold. He's got himself the wood, or just about, as the villagers are going to be moving up onto this position and trying to grab the town center. Brickhead, on the other hand, his ravens flying around. There's a Toskos at the top corner of the map, but the ravens flying around. They will be seeing the town center coming up. The big question is, as we are seeing the villagers getting harassed over here, nice attack by Brickhead. The big question is, can Brickhead's army beat the Minotaur and the Chiron on this position and stop that town center from going up here or not? That's the big question, as the Ajax here causing a little bit of problems. If I'm Brickhead, I'm going to try and bring that Valkyrie away from this position where the Chiron is, because the Chiron is the one unit you can't really stop. As the army now pushing through here, going to attempt to take down that Chiron there. The couple of Hursa are in to take out the Minotaur. Can he stop the town center from going up or not is the big question. As the Minotaur getting caught out, the town center getting closer and closer to finishing. There is a restoration that will be available here for 3antozz, and I imagine he will most likely be using it. One villager goes down. There's the restoration as the town center finishes up. The army needs to retreat back, and that's good for Brickhead. Brickhead gets the restoration down. The Sentinel's obviously always going to get placed on this town center. So winning for both players. 3antozz gets his town center up. Brickhead gets the restoration and snipes the Minotaur as well, but does end up losing the Hursa for it, as he also loses the Hursa over here. So quite a bit of losses after the restoration there. I think if Brickhead had left straight away, he may have been in a better spot to get away without losing all too much. But nonetheless, that's what happened, and the game continues. The big question now comes, what sort of follow-up here for Brickhead? He's got himself 220 wood in the bank. That's close to being able to get himself a second town center. But he is getting himself medium cavalry and husbandry here. So this kind of indicates to me that he might be going for a fast heroic, or a semi-fast heroic behind all of this. Another Ulfsar coming out here kind of indicates to me that he's going for a town center. So I really don't know what he wants to do here. Lots of wood in the bank. We'll see. We'll see what his plan is. As the raiding cavalry searching around, there are these villagers over here on this elephant, very, very much out of position. Does Brickhead even know? He sees one elephant there, but he doesn't know that there's anything on that, as the temple getting taken away. And this is really, I mean, honestly, this is really, really unfortunate play from Brickhead. He's got the ravens. He had to check out the town center, but as soon as that town center gets grabbed, he should be sending the ravens around to find where the hunt is. Because if you can stop the hunters, you win the game in a way here, as the temple will end up getting taken down. That will be some value there for Brickhead. Brickhead also getting himself a second town center. Generally speaking, a delayed second town center for Norse isn't as bad as a delayed town center for the Greek players. Why? Because you don't have to invest the extra resources in getting the town center up, as Norse doesn't cost any extra resources there, basically. As the raiding cavalry moving over onto this position, villagers retreating away, and Brickhead, he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know that the villagers are here, and 3antozz is taking full advantage of that fact here. Though that being said, Brickhead might have noticed that the elephant has been dragged into that fog there. And we'll see exactly what these raiders are going to be able to do, as villagers are now sneaking over into this corner again. Brickhead is getting so close to knowing. Oh, he's got a hard on for the houses here, because he just doesn't feel like he can get much value anywhere else. But it's just like he doesn't know. Oh! He sees the granary. He sees the granary. Will he check? That's the big question. But is it too little too late? As the hoplites are now over here, the raiding cavalry pushing these ones back. Pushing the hoplites back before the army, the reinforcements come in, and now the raiding cavalry coming over here. They will spot the villagers. The elephant's got 450 food remaining, as now the villagers turning around, going to be taking that fight here. 3antozz going to be losing. No villagers there. Is the raiding cavalry, will they get away? Yes, they will. Majority of them. Well, Yeah, he gets away with all of those, and with the Odin regen, he can get those back up to full HP. Brickhead taking another town center in the center of the map. I like that play, grabbing the center 2 town centers rather than his back town center here, though. All 3 town centers are very, very close on this map. A bit of a funny one. As Brickhead with the 2 town centers is going to be able to catch up on the villager count very, very fast. Eat a lot of hunt. Have a great game here. The one thing that I think Norse players in this specific situation need to do is have a dedicated longhouse builder. And you're just going to continue to put longhouses up over and over again. Why? Because 2 longhouses in a temple is just not enough. And if you don't do it with 1 unit, it just doesn't end up happening. Because you're just so busy trying to defend all of the raids coming in that it can be really, really tough. As 3antozz getting some more military buildings in. You see the Toskapos getting sniped down on that position as 3antozz retreating back for the time being here. Brickhead with plenty of resources. You can go to the heroic age here, but does he have an armory? I don't see the armory just yet. Obviously, heroic age here wouldn't go astray. As the villagers moving over into the corner here, going to be getting that elephant. I wouldn't mind seeing a wall here, and it is set up. Or it's queued to go up. Some more walls coming up for Brickhead as well. So we'll be able to click up to that heroic age. Ruscardi, it seems. As the units here pushing forward. Brickhead can kind of take this fight underneath the town center fire here. He doesn't have that forest fire. Imagine forest fire! It's been a while since I've said that. As the 3antozz units here, a little bit too strong here for Brickhead. There's no real reason for him to take the fight at this point, because he can just sit in this town center and be fine here. Just garrison those thrown axemen into the town center and be completely fine. And then just use the frost to kill off the army with the dream. As we do see now, finally, some more longhouses coming up. But is this too little too late? This is what I was talking about. Is this too little too late? Is that actually... I mean, if you look at the positioning here, it looks like it's... It looks like it's open. But the buildings are overlapping each other in a way. I don't know. And there's the heroic age. As Brickhead here... Honestly, he should just frost this army. Why? Frost the army, get the damage done, live the dream. Villagers retreating back. He's got himself no hunt left over there. There is hunt over here. Brickhead almost losing himself that. Well, he does lose the Ulfsark as well. Thundering Hooves coming in as well as heavy cavalry. The other thing is maybe you want to hold on to Frost for Apollo, but I feel like if you just take out the entire army and just keep up the pressure, your opponent's never going to be able to use that Apollo. As the wall's coming up over here, villagers trying to come over and grab this gold mine, but Brickhead says a big no to that one, or at the very least, Brickhead will be knowing that that's the case. As do we see him immediately sending units over here? Not just yet. The villagers coming over here going to start shanking the Ulfsark. Brickhead can gate this and move around, wall these villagers in. Looks like he's not paying attention to that one just yet. As the heavy raiders making their way through here. This is going to hurt 3antozz significantly in this game. Lots of villagers going to be falling here. Going to try and break through that wall over there. They're going to try and retreat, actually. Are they going to be able to get away? I don't think they will. As the army pushing over here. Frost onto this as well. Would not go astray here still for Brickhead, because that's the entirety of that army. All the villagers will fall here, or at least a lot of the villagers will fall here. And it does look like Brickhead is just going to be retreating back, taking a lot of losses on the front, while the raiders try and chase those villagers away. Looks like 3antozz gets away with a lot more villagers than I thought he was going to be able to get away with there. As Brickhead still, this is the problem. Look at the wood. If he had 2 more longhouses up right now, he would have a lot more chance, or a lot more production to get himself up to that full population. He's getting himself Hunter's Axe, lots of resources in the bank. The hill fort going to be a big, big help. Villagers moving over here onto these Gazelle. There is this back gold mine over here that's very, very free for 3antozz. As Brickhead says, you know what? If you're not there, you're somewhere else. And he's going to be going straight for that gold mine. As the hoplites running straight through here. There's plenty of throwing axemen here to deal with this, though. Not quite going to be able to get that ghost building down as the hoplites getting caught out. The raiders hitting the back gold mine over here as 3antozz retreats back with his units here. He's got the Toxotes, he's got the heroes on this position as the raiding cavalry going to try and finish off the villagers here as best as he can, but 3antozz is here to defend. There will be a lot of villager kills as Brickhead's slowly catching up to the villager differential here as the villagers retreating back away from the food on this position here. Is Brickhead going to be getting a market down and going Mythic Age? I wouldn't mind seeing tier here. If we could see Fimbulwinter in the next, like right now, in the next minute and a half, that would do so much damage to 3antozz, and that would basically end the game here for, or at least put Brickhead in a winning position as those hoplites getting pushed back. Do we see that market up anywhere? I don't see it just yet. No, there's no market anywhere. The raiding cavalry are just spreading out, trying to do as much damage as they can. 3antozz on the other side of the field here, he's already clicked up Mythic Age, and he is going through Hephaestus here. Nice and safe. No Artemis to try and get himself back to the town center. Just going straight through Hephaestus. We'll see how it's going to go as a fourth town center coming up for Brickhead. Still no answers here. Well, no Mythic Age here for Brickhead. The other option here for Brickhead would be to just go Balder but not click Ragnarok. There's no need to click it. Balder for the Fire Giants and make that work would be a really, really good way to play. As a raiding cavalry going to be retreating away now for the time being. Getting a couple of villager kills in the main base here. Just really hurting 3antozz's economy as best as he can. As the fortress now coming up on this position is going to be a little bit of a scary thing here for Brickhead. We'll see how it's all going to go. As that hoplite expedition here proves to have really distracted quite a bit of Brickhead's population, if we're honest. As the villagers now getting harassed off of this gold mine. Brickhead at this point, let's take a look at his map. Gold mine wise here for Brickhead. This gold mine, well, he's got one over here actually. So his gold mines are pretty good here. And he's got these golds over here that are well and truly defended. As a throwing axeman coming over to defend against all of that. The unit's going to be retreating back. Brickhead's at 140 population. Bronze Mail coming through. Watchtowers. Plow also coming through. Hephaestus just about to hit. Heavy infantry also coming through as 3antozz gets himself the irrigation. As some great Jarls coming in to take villagers out here. While the villagers can turn around and take these fights, they're going to be losing a lot of their numbers here on that gold mine as the Plenty Vault does come through. More Jarls coming in as the hoplites are already in to defend on that one. As Brickhead has to retreat back. One thing that I'm surprised Brickhead isn't doing here is making Huskal. Huskal is so useful in this matchup because it forces out Hephaestus and it allows you to then go into Ballaster and have no real worries. Because the Hephaestus, they don't do well against the Ballaster at all. But Brickhead here at this moment, he's got no resources left in the bank in terms of the food, getting himself winter harvest. He has to farm transition, and he just might be finding himself stuck in the classical age here. Not the classical age, the heroic age here, which isn't as bad as being stuck in the classical age, but he might be finding himself having a difficult time here. As the Frost Giant trying to chase down that Colossus there. Freezing that one would be a very, very big thing as the raiding cavalry do manage to surround all the units over here as the Jarls continuing to hit this location there as well. The Toxotes breaking through on this position. The Hillfort doing some good damage to defend over on that position as we do see the Frost hitting on this location here to freeze all the units as Brickhead trying to break through. He's got himself a lot of Hillforts now. Over here we do see a Pegasus checking out this position as some hoplites coming through. There is a Hillfort over here to defend this gold mine if he needs to. At this point, it looks like 3antozz's gold income is 0 for the time being, which is very, very big. Obviously, 3antozz can sell resources for a little bit. He does have the Plenty Vault as well to help out. Can we see that fortress getting taken down before the Frost is finished is the big question. As Brickhead here, he needs some more production or some more units here. We do see the Underworld now getting dropped over onto this spot here as a couple of units popping through. The village is going to be retreating away. There is still this gold mine getting grabbed here. In all honesty, Brickhead doesn't really need a whole lot of gold income. After all is said and done, he needs wood. He needs... Actually, he doesn't need the gold. He needs everything here. He's throwing everything into this position, but is this too overkill? As he's also raiding the villagers in the main base as well. He's trying to get a lot done in this game to cause problems, as we see a lot of villagers on the favor here as well for 3antozz. As the villagers getting chased back, Townsend are going to be getting a little bit of defense done here. As it looks like the fortress does end up staying alive for the time being here, as Brickhead could not finish that one off. It does look like Brickhead isn't making villagers from all his towns. He's actually only making villagers from one town center at this point. So while he's picking off a lot of villagers, he's losing a lot of resources in the interim. And he's not replacing his villagers fast by building a whole bunch of stuff. You're totally right, Mr. Dodd in the chat. As the heavy hoplite getting taken out. Over here we do see the hill fort on this position getting cleaned up as well. There's some great Jarls trying to take out that Colossus. They do a good job of taking out the Colossus because it's a 50% hack armor unit. Great Jarls get a good, decent amount of damage done, but the hoplite does manage to deal with that one as the hill fort goes down there. And the problem here for Brickhead is going to be gold. He does have a market set up. He is starting the trade route, but it will be gold as the underworld passage over here is going to be something he has to deal with. 151 population though for Brickhead does have an advantage here, especially with that Huntress Axe dealing with those heavy hoplites, but still not making those Huskal to deal with the heavy Toxotes is a big question mark for me. As the Frost Giant is in, you can utilize that to completely nullify those Heliopolis. Generally speaking, Skadi against Heliopolis, if you have Skadi, you just frost every Heliopolis that comes out. Max value, because that's 5 population that is frozen for 20 seconds in the fight. Some raids now coming over here, hitting the Ox Caravans of Brickhead as well, as now we see the Huskal coming in, and this is where things get very difficult for 3antozz and Hades to deal with. As the villagers sneaking through here, going to try and grab this gold mine on that position there. The gold on the back here for 3antozz. Still got 2,000 gold left in it, as this position will get broken through, and then Brickhead can move forward and grab this gold here if he so chooses, as the dwarves moving in there, and these units here, they need to get dealt with. There's no real reason why Brickhead should be getting away with these sorts of raids, as we do see one Jarl going to get brought over here to deal with this. As Brickhead sending more and more units here to try and finish off the fortress. 400 HP remaining, finally starting to go down, and that's going to mean that Brickhead should be able to grab this gold mine for the time being here. Villagers coming over here. We do see a fortress coming up. The gold mine about to get grabbed as the Huskal do come over here to deal with this. I feel like you should kill off the heavy Toxotes first and then the Chiron. One thing that Brickhead needs to do is get the walls set up, because 3antozz is just going to continue to send units down there as this game continues along. As 3antozz drops down to 97 population, do we see, well, the Ox Caravans need to get reset. The walls need to get set up as well, as the underworld passage can go down over here as well. So all these buildings going to get cleaned up. 3antozz at this point does have 1,400 gold in the bank with 79 or 80 favor as well. We see some walls getting set up. The other thing that Brickhead hasn't yet used is his Mythic Age Godbout, because he's not in the Mythic Age. So there is still a big power spike to come here for Brickhead if he can manage to sort out his economy. Look at those farms. Those are some old expert farms. If you ever see farms placed like that, you realize that the player is playing decently. You know that this guy's been playing Age Mythology for quite some time. As we do see the walls coming up, as a Colossus is going to come through. And this is what we're kind of talking about. This is the problems. There are Jarls and things around here. The wall, at least, will be up in time, which means the Colossus is going to get stopped on this position. But Brickhead needs to be reacting to that very quickly. As the Hypaspis now coming through. And this is great, because Brickhead is kind of set up to deal with the Hypaspis, kind of, at the moment, but he should be pulling back and trying to consolidate the position here. As we do see the Colossus now breaking through, going to take out the market on this position as Brickhead says, all right, let's take out the gold mine over here. There is still this gold here with 2,600 gold left in it. But, I mean, he's got to be very, very aware that losing this market is a big deal. 11 ox caravans have been built here for Brickhead already. As the villagers pushing in to try and get a military academy and starting this side building shenanigans here. There's like idle great Jarls all over the place. There's the army coming over here to try and defend the gold. 3antozz got plenty of resources here. This is the thing with raid-orientated Norse players, that they kind of don't get it in that once you get to a certain point in the game, these raids that you do, effectively you want to be doing the raid still, but you only really want to send a handful of units, not a huge amount of population, because your opponent's got plenty of resources, especially when you're at 180 population. The raids stop being so useful, and you want to just have your units bunched up and be utilizing that population advantage that you have, rather than splitting up as much as you can to try and get damage done, to try and get little chip damage of your opponent's economy done. And we'll see if this is going to be a problem here for Brickhead, as he's actually run out of gold here. Iron weapons, iron mail, signal fires, watchtowers coming through. Now, I've talked about this before, but effectively, iron upgrades, they're kind of, if your opponent's at bronze and you're at iron, and it's 140 versus 180 pop, that there is basically equal. So long as you can get to bronze on 4 town centers against the iron upgrades of your opponent, you're effectively going to be sitting pretty there, trading nicely, because you've got the population advantage by a big ticket. Now, obviously, Hades is a little bit different because he's got the Hades Shade at 1 population cost, but you can kind of defend in those positions. But at this point here, Brickhead, he's not at 180 population. He doesn't have a gold mine. And the trade route is actually stopped at this point. So he's finding himself in a very, very difficult position to continue, as 3antozz has secured all the gold mines on the map. He's now starting that trade route. He's got that trade at the top corner of the map there. He's got plenty of resources in the bank, and his army is trading really, really nicely with those full iron upgrades here. The other thing that he's done nicely as well is he hasn't been committing into PS upgrades for no reason. Now, obviously, PS upgrades are decent because it stops the town center from doing tons of damage, and towers from doing tons of damage. But the bulk of the DPS is coming from hack damage units here, and 3antozz has really, really done well there by focusing on that. As I can't believe that we haven't seen a... Brickhead's got 100 favor in the back. Just send a Frost Giant over here to deal with that Colossus. That's all you got to do. 1 Frost Giant over there. As 3antozz now swinging in with his army of Heliopoli. Do have a decent amount of resources in the bank here for Brickhead. He could sell those. As this villager over here gets caught out, going to get put to rest there, as Brickhead's market's getting cleaned up. There would be a world where a market over here trading up to this town center wouldn't be an awful idea. As Brickhead, he is still looking for small amounts of damage to stop 3antozz's pushing power here. And while it's not a bad idea, I just don't think it's the most important thing for him right now to be doing that. He needs to consolidate this trade route, as the market is back up over here. The trade caravan's running straight past a whole bunch of those Hades military units there as well. And while Brickhead is 4 town centers, he's just not able to utilize that population. He does have some gold in the bank now, so he will be able to push up to that 180 pop. But Heliopoli are just starting to move around this map really, really nicely. Brickhead's got one more chance here. If he sells off all of that wood and goes Mythic Age here through Balder, could potentially click that Ragnarok and get some sort of consolidation of the position there. As he does click up through Balder. As the Great Jarl's pushing through, defending on this position. We do see some watchtowers coming up. They do have crenellations plus iron weapons. 12 damage a second there. As the villagers sneaking in here again, do manage to get themselves up. That 1 military academy as a Gas Graffiti coming through. Burning Pitch also on the way here. Antos has been really, really, really annoying with those raids down the bottom, and it's really making life difficult for Brickhead here. Again, the other corner is very safe. Going to this town center is probably, I would say it's about exactly the same amount of gold, if not more gold, going from the back corner there. As the villagers trying to get taken out. Do they have... No, they don't have Divine Blood, but they still get the military buildings up very, very fast. As the Heliopolis rolling through here. If Brickhead's paying attention, wouldn't be a bad idea to just move over here and shank those. As these Heliopolis breaking through onto this town center to take that one down. The real question is, with 3antozz having 13 donkey caravans and all these resources in the bank, what is the plan with Balder? There isn't really a plan, to be honest. Part of me feels like Thimble Winter and getting himself tons of Fenris Wolves would be a better plan in a way. Brickhead still trying to defend on this position as the Ragnarok does get clicked. 337 population Ragnarok. No Titan on the way. The town center gets taken down over there. As hoplites are just going to continue streaming through onto this position, as we do see a handful of Rag heroes going to be tasked to move through there. The underworld passage here can get torn down. This fortress goes down pretty quickly. Brickhead does have a decent amount of resources to put stuff all over the place. As the Rag heroes, they can kind of just ignore those hoplites here and just take out the buildings first and foremost. I imagine 3antozz is going to focus on getting himself architects here relatively soon. The walls are just everywhere though. And like, a Panic's Rag click is bad against Greek in of itself, but at 30 minutes, a Panic's Rag click is just not... I mean, it might work here. It might work with the idea of just getting his town center back, consolidating this position, throwing up hill forts and the like all over the place, and just trying to get his economy back into gear. He does have 20 ox caravans here as well. There's more Rag heroes coming over here, but 3antozz here is just continuing to pump out those hoplites on this position to prevent this from happening. He's doing a great job of it. As we do see, the Perseus comes in and snipes the fire giant. That's absolutely huge. 3antozz still sitting at full population here. Is the town center going to be coming back up? But that one Gastrophede there being the most annoying thing in the world. Brickhead still hasn't managed to deal with this. So we also see a Hapaspis queued up here, and that pops out, and that's going to be able to deal with the rest of those heroes of Ragnarok. As the problems in that corner are still occurring, as we do see now, Brickhead realizes one Gastrophede, one annoying Gastrophede. Brickhead retreating back now. He's missing a house here, but that's not that big of a deal. 160 of 150 population. As the Gastrophede comes through, try and take out that market here. So the army retreats back underneath the town center. And, I mean, Brickhead, he can build some fire giants now as an idea to hold and try and get his economy back into gear. He does have 4 town centers. He only really needs to get himself out about 40 villages. So you're looking at something like... those villages can come out really, really fast here. So he can get back up to population really, really quickly if he has all 4 town centers up and he's getting those farms nice and placed, as we do see the fire giants popping out here to try and hold on here. Is there a Perseus? It doesn't look like there is. One Gastrophede. Oh, there it is. As it does go down just before he gets the special attack off. As the buildings get cleaned up in the corner here. The buildings over here getting cleaned up as well. Villages are started. And the big thing here that Brickhead can do also is buy food to keep the villagers pumping out, because he's got all of those ox caravans. So buying food and spamming those ox caravans out as well isn't a bad idea either. But the Gastrophede is now slowly taking this town center down, and this isn't something that Brickhead can really afford here. If we are now starting to see Ballaster coming out, those are going to be a big, big help in this fight. As the raiding cavalry come through to try and take out those Gastrophede, they will take them out relatively fast. There's no... I can never remember this technology's upgrade. Sons of Sleipnir. Sleipnir? Sleipnir? I don't know. That upgrade really does help against archers as well. But the town center does end up going down. As this one here going to be coming back up. We do see the side builds are just going to continue coming through here for 3antozz. And this is something that Brickhead could have set up during the Ragnarok, is just put walls here. Just set it up. Get your walls set up and make sure you can defend your trade route. This is the hardest part about playing Norse, and the easiest part about playing Norse as well. So the hardest part is defending once you're behind. The easiest part is setting up to make sure that you don't need to defend. Why? Because you can just build walls all around the map with Norse really, really easily. There's a Perseus going down nicely there, but now Brickhead, he's losing this town center as well, as the Gashafidis are just causing so much problems here for Brickhead, and being down to 2 town centers apiece here, down on the armory upgrades against the Hades army here. It's just too much for Brickhead to deal with. So I'm not sure what else he can do now, as he's not going to be able to get the town center back up. And 3antozz has got the score lead. The Ballista will be getting some good damage done, though. The Ballista, if he can get those out and he can hold this position nicely, he might be able to deal with the infantry units that are coming through here and all of the good stuff that happens there. As military units, it's just... 3antozz is so good at this kind of side build annoyance. He just throws up buildings left, right, and center on the sides of the maps just to harass trade and cause problems. And in that moment, Brickhead doesn't want to continue anymore. He can't get the villagers back out. He can't keep the production here. 76 population, excuse me, remaining. Is just not going to cut it here in this game. And 3antozz manages to survive here. Brickhead 4 town centers to 2 town centers, but he didn't have... I think he's just the refusal to make those Huskarl, the refusal to secure these positions over here with walls. It's just like those sorts of things that make Norse really strong. Instead, he goes for the raids on these villages, and while that did help a little bit, I just feel like he needed to kind of pay attention to his weaknesses and just fix those. The weaknesses of the market here. The weaknesses giving up these gold mines here. If he didn't give up these gold mines here with just some walls, obviously the underworld was always going to happen, but walls on these positions and taking out that underworld, if you had Huskarl at that point also would have been a nice way to play. Obviously not spending the food would have mean he probably could have gone to the heroic age, mythic age faster. Really, not to take anything away there from 3antozz. A really nice play, really well played from behind here in a big way, putting up buildings and utilizing those 1 population units in the villages really, really nicely here to cause some problems, utilizing the Colossus here to cause problems as well, playing around the fact that Brickhead didn't really have that much gold to make his Frost Giants to defend against the Colossus raid. Really nice play there. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.